The stiff cold breeze of November 11th finds Owen Riegler on stand, hoping to see one of his top targets, the wide 8.
All right, we're back at it, guys. November 11th, just breaking daylight here. We got like 3 inches of rain last night, so that just quit. So these deer ought to move pretty good this morning, I think. Just whether or not we're in the right spot, or in the infamous walnut down here by the crabs plot. You've seen us hunt down here before. It's more of an evening spot generally, but it is a nice go-between, so. What the? Well, these toms right here. That little sucker just sounded off, but anyway, it is more of an evening spot generally, but we got food all around us, but we do have some nice little ditches and stuff that all converge right here, so looking for that wide 8, or there's another 8 down here I'd like to take a look at. I'm not for sure if he's a shooter, but I'd like to see him in person. At any rate, let's crack the antlers and see what happens.
A small group of gobbling fall toms and a few small deer are all that Owen has to show for his morning efforts. As he packs his gear away for the exit, Owen remains confident that the afternoon hunt will make up for the action that the morning lacked. As Owen gears up for the afternoon hunt, 80 miles to the south, Avery Epperson and his brother Aiden head into the Missouri Hardwoods for their afternoon sit.
Evening of November 11th, Aiden and I came up here to Acorn Ridge to make an evening sit. Right now we're set up in the plot we call the Bermuda Triangle. We call it that because pretty much anything that steps in this plot is shootable, and plus it's shaped like a triangle. But a couple deer right here after is one being 305 and another being Crook. And the 305 actually showed up this morning about, I'd say 6 o'clock. And then about 10 o'clock, a new deer we don't think we have pictures of him. He showed up about 10:30 this morning. So this colder weather that moved in today has really got him up on their feet moving. 305's been kind of stagnant on the trail cameras. He really hadn't showed himself lately. But it's good to know he showed back up. Like I said, it's cooled down a lot. So it was like 65 degrees yesterday, and now it's like in the 40s and 50s. But we got a south, it's kind of like a west wind, but the next couple days are going to be west and southwest wind, which is perfect for this spot. So we're going to be putting our time in here on Acorn Ridge. The bucks are starting to cruise. I think it's just starting to ramp up. Rifle season comes in Saturday, so we're trying to get it done before then.
Yeah. It's got to be louder. That's 305. I know it. can't see him.
Well, as you guys can see, we just had an encounter with our number one hit list buck, 305. I was just sitting here scrolling through my phone, and I look up, and all I see is rack. And immediately I knew that it was a big deer. And then I seen that left side, how it sways up, and I was like, it's 305. Got the camera on him, and he just stuck out of range about 55 yards the whole time. I grunted at him, he looked up, but he just didn't want nothing to do with it, and he just kept walking. It's almost like just he was dead set that he was gonna fight a doe. And he started going back off toward the west, and I rattled at him. He may have looked up, I can't really tell. But it's not over yet. I mean, I wasn't gonna push that kind of shot. I'm just not comfortable with it. And with this wind, it's just swaying this tree around, so the night's not over. He could very well come back through here, or another mature buck could come through here, but that's reassuring that he is back in the area, and he just daylighted right in front of us, so hopefully he'll swing back through and we can get another shot at him this evening.
Do you see him?
Yeah, I see him. He's bumping does. He's not a shooter. I'm not gonna shoot him.
You sure?
That's the deer I seen.
There's two of them.
The big buck is what I want. The big
Rattle or something. He's coming right down the pike. Get ready, he's coming right down the pike. He's coming right to this food plot. I don't know which one it is, but one of them's coming. Hey, right there, right down the trail, right there. There's 305 right there. Look, right there, 305.
Okay. I'm not shooting this deer. You hear me?
No, don't shoot him, don't shoot him.
Don't move. Toked him. I toked him. He's dumping. The guy right there.
Go down.
The guy right there. He's dead. Look at me. 305's dead. 305's dead. That is insane. I've never had that. That buck. We seen him skirt us at 57, and he went west. And we knew he was gonna come back through. And sure enough, I rattled 2 bucks to another shooter. Went to the food plot, and then Hayden said 305's coming down the trail running a doe. And sure enough, he comes down the trail, 10 yards, double lunged him, and he's dead right there.
Man, nobody deserves more than you.
Thank you, man. Thanks for sticking with me, man. And 305's dead.
First blood on a piece of property that we own.
Yeah, we bought this farm April 20. We closed on it April 26th. And that is first blood on our own ground. We have worked our butts off, made the money, made the payments, and it just paid off right there in the Bermuda Triangle food plot. That is awesome, and he's dead right there. 100 yards, dead. 150-inch deer, dead. 305, 5-year-old, and he's dead.
Dude, I freaking love you.
I'm gonna call him.
Call Tyler.
305's dead. He's dead.
8 yards.
8 yards under the stand, double lunged him, and he's dead 150 yards. Well, right where I shot him at, just back there, and I mean, you could probably run and follow this blood trail. He was dumping when I shot him. He shouldn't be too far. Blood everywhere up here. Oh my gosh, dude.
He is an absolute hammer.
Oh my gosh. He died in 6 stuff. Well, here we are, November 11th, and I'm ecstatic to be sitting behind my biggest buck to date, and to do it on our own property is just something special to me. And back in the spring, me and Aiden, we took a gamble and bought 30 acres here, and we always had the dream of owning our own ground and be able to do what we want on it and just killing big deer. And the Cudde backs, they were pretty slow in the summertime, but as September and October rolled in, the bucks started rolling in too, and this was one of them, 305. Our first picture we had of him, it was in this plot we're sitting in right now, and he kind of disappeared in October. We kind of unpressured it, and he showed back up in November. And this morning we had pictures of him on the Cudde back at 6 o'clock, and Aiden and I decided to make the drive up here tonight, and as you can see, it paid off. We believe this deer to be 5.5, and I'm just so ecstatic to just be sitting behind this deer right now. I'm kind of speechless at the moment, but I'm just so thankful to be a part of the Midwest Whitetail team, and for this to be the first full hunt on the show. I'm just so thankful for that. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in to Midwest Whitetail.
The morning of November 13th finds Wisconsin bow hunter Elliot Smith settled into a tree stand back in the hardwoods, looking for his target buck, one that he calls R2.
Well, good morning. It's the morning of November 13th, and Elliot and I are set up in the mud hole stand this morning. We got in real clean, it seemed like. The ground is damp from all the sleet and rain yesterday, mixed with snow, so it was real quiet getting in, and we got about a 10-mile-an-hour northwest wind that covered up any noise that we would have made. It's about 34 degrees and a pretty clear morning. We're in here after R2. We know this is a travel corridor of his, and we know he's been in the area a lot. The neighbors saw him yesterday while they were getting a deer out, and it seems like there's more and more deer entering this property every day as it gets later, because we've got a lot of food here, so pretty soon there's going to be a lot of does here, and I think we got a real good chance at seeing R2, so it should be a real good morning. Hopefully we can get a glimpse of him.
"200 miles to the southwest, in Iowa, Mike Reed is back in the field hoping to catch up with one of the River Farm targets.
is Saturday, November 13th. Ryan and I are still riding high after taking down Chubbs on the 10th. Lots of happy thoughts and feelings since that day. So awesome to be successful after, grinding it out for basically 29 days. Today we are down on the River Bottom Farm. We're in the pinch. Really awesome conditions after this front came through yesterday. We got 10 to 12 mile an hour west-northwest winds, and it's cold. It's about 30 degrees with the wind. It's somewhere low 20s. Primary target for me is Dak. He was here just on the home camera and kind of running through this area back. It's been about 10 days ago. Jared pulled cards on November 8th, and he was nocturnal a couple times, but Jared's been sitting out here kind of trying out different areas on the farm the last week and hasn't seen Dak or Marino, so I'm not sure what the chances are, but the later we get into the rut, particularly in another week or so, this farm sets up good for random cruisers, and you never know. That could certainly happen this time of year. We're just gonna sit back, get quiet, enjoy the morning.
Despite solid deer activity throughout the morning, no mature bucks make their way past Mike. With excellent conditions, he wraps up his hunt and begins preparing for the afternoon. Back in Wisconsin, Elliot's deer activity stays high, with bucks cruising all through the surrounding timber.
Here he comes. That's future right there. What? That's future. Oh yeah, he did. It's nice looking. Oh, look at him. I got that. That's him. Well, it's a little bit after 11 o'clock, and Shelfefer and I were just sitting here second-guessing ourselves whether or not we're in the right spot. And we've had some does filtering around and just milling around over here to the north of this grass field. And I caught a glimpse of a bigger body deer. Once it got into the clearing, I could see that it was R2. He came up from the north and was scent checking all those does over there. At one point it looked like the doe that he was chasing was going to come up over the ridge right to us, but she ended up veering off to the north, and he kind of spun around and went back to the west. We're in the ball game. He didn't go too far. He's just milling around over there yet, so maybe we can catch him midday. We're in the game.
300 miles to the southwest, Jared Mills makes his way into a new spot for the afternoon hunt.
Alright, we are back in for the afternoon. It's about 2:45 right now. I would have liked to have got in nice and early with good movement conditions, but the wind is in the process of trying to switch from northwest to southwest, and we need south in this spot. But I'll tell you, this farm is whooping my tail when it comes to swirling winds, and I can't figure it out.
been relatively windy all day, and it's gonna die down. And our thermal should be just fine pouring into this ditch. But right now, we're getting every cardinal direction out of this wind, and it doesn't look like we should be. And so it's been frustrating trying to find a spot where the wind's not going to beat us. The deer we're hunting, we're calling Diablo. It's a fitting name based on where he's living, because this place is being tough on us for sure. Essentially, we're hunting kind of the downwind side of a bedding area. We do have some brassicas out here, but this is the downwind side of a bedding area. And I talked about it before, especially this morning, but it's also an edge between a block of pines and some hardwoods here around this ditch. And in my experience, the deer like to travel these edges. So we'll see what happens. I feel good about this spot if the wind cooperates. If it doesn't cooperate, it's not going to be a fun night. There's 3 bucks up there. 4 bucks. Hey, there's Diablo. Diablo's up here, just past the ladder stand. Come on, wind, be good. He's walking right. Walking right, yeah. There he is. Where? There's a deer up there. Straight up that chute. To the right of the pine tree. That's a doe. How is he not out here right now? He's probably coming. He's probably being smart. Well, that big if at the end of my opening interview played out the way we did not want it to. The wind was absolutely miserable the entire night. It blew every direction, and every deer that came out here smelled us. And I think it was swirling so bad that they couldn't even tell where it was coming from most of the time, and they were walking around out front of us, but every single deer, there wasn't a single deer that didn't smell us. And the most frustrating part is looking at the topography and everything, I can't figure out why it's swirling here. So potentially it was just one of those nights where the wind just did its own thing and didn't do what it was forecasted to do. Or potentially it's a spot and it's kind of getting sucked back into the pines here or something. But I did catch a quick glimpse of the buck we came in here after, like 2 seconds, just enough to tell it was him. And I think if had our wind cooperated, we would have got a shot at him, because it was right when all those does were just piling out. And my guess is with all these deer on the edge, he stayed up in the woods and ended up just redirecting. But man, I love this spot. I love this tree. I just got to figure out if it's even huntable. Try it on a different wind. Try it on a windier night. I'm not real sure. But that's frustrating right there. I mean, all night long. And there's just nothing nothing you can do about it. We're gonna have a hard northwest wind in the morning, so I think we'll try to sneak in on a different ditch on the other side. So cool to know he's in here, but man, things could have played out a lot differently tonight, that's for sure.
Back in the Wisconsin hardwoods, Elliot Smith's afternoon is still rolling along very nicely with steady deer movement.
Whenever you're ready. It's behind a tree right now. Yeah, you're good. Me.
It felt good, it looked good. It might have been just a touch back, and he might have been quartering too. Oh, he's going down. He's going down. He's going down. Oh my God, dude. I can't believe it. We finally got it. The legend of R2 is over, man. What a hunt. All they said paid off. That doe, it's a miracle for all the things that have ever gone wrong in bow hunting. That doe below us, he followed her right here, and she was right under the tree for, I don't know, 2 minutes, and he just stood there forever. And eventually she was getting a little weird, and she made a little move, and he wrapped around the back side of the tree, and I smoked him, or shot him at like 14 yards. I don't know, it's like right where Grumps was last year. But he bounded 20 yards and fell over. Oh my God, that was unbelievable. I don't even know what to say. The legend of R2 is over. I'm so happy. I don't even know. Thanks for being here, buddy.
What up there?
Well, guys, he threw us for a bit of a loop. We saw him bed down and we thought he was gonna die right there. And Shellpfeffer and I kind of got a little overexcited and we thought he tipped over right there, but he ended up just bedding down, and he went about another 200 yards, and we finally found him after not too bad of a blood trail. But the story of R2 is unbelievable. I'm excited to share it with you guys, and I just can't believe I got him. He's a stud. I believe he's 5.5, and I let him go a bunch last year, and it paid off in a big way. Thank you, guys.
Elliot Smith wasn't the only one to experience great success on the evening of November 13th. Minnesota resident Colin Giles attempted a rather unorthodox bow hunt that afternoon. After locating a beautiful 10-pointer in the hardwoods, Colin was able to close the distance and put a great shot on the buck after a well-executed stalk. It was a perfect example of how thinking creatively can exploit the vulnerabilities of a rutting whitetail buck.
Right there. Look, right there, 305. You're good. You want him? You want him? Yep.
Told you. I told you. 305 dead. 305 dead.
I freaking love you.
Primary target for me is Dak. The later we get into the rut, this farm sets up good for random cruisers, and you never know. You know, that could certainly happen this time of year.
But I did catch a quick glimpse of the buck. We came in here after like 2 seconds, just enough to tell it was him. And I think if had our wind cooperated, we would have got a shot at him, because it was right when all those does were just piling out.
The hunts of November 13th were nothing shy of incredible, reminding us just how good this month can truly be. Much like the lottery, there is always a chance, but you have to play. Stand time continues to be vital, but placing yourself in high-odds locations remains paramount. Travel corridors, funnels, and pinch points remain smart choices. Enough hours spent in these places can lead to tags wrapped around antler. These are the places where you will find us just about every day, as long as we are still chasing November.